weep, Grana, weep, Winnie Bong.
Hi everyone, Spider-Kel back again, and as you can see, going to be reviewing Revealed, The Shield, Transformers, Wreck-Gar, or in some order that kind of sounds like that. There we go. I picked this up last week, almost a week ago. I got it from Kapow Toys, and I've always wanted a Wreck-Gar. I never got an original one back in the 80s when I was a kid, and I haven't collected one since. And when I saw this guy was coming out, I really liked the look of him, so I thought I'd pick it up. I was off work last week as well, so I didn't get a chance to really review him because I was too busy relaxing and doing nothing. And so I decided I would do a review of him today. It's also given me the chance to have a week with him and then kind of fiddle around with him and see what I kind of thought. Overall, I love it. Overall, I think it's really, really good. A couple of bits and pieces that I'm not so sure on. That's not one of them, actually. He's never really fallen over. The kickstand does a good job. But I do really, really like it. Overall, the bike design for it, I love. To compare it to another bike that I have, here's Animated Prowl. This is obviously the one that comes with the sidecar as well, but I just haven't included the sidecar with it. Obviously, completely different design of bike. This is more like a dirt bike, whereas this is more a I don't know bikes, fast bike. The one in Grand Theft Auto that keeps on crashing and I end up the other side of the city. That sort of bike. So a totally different style of bikes. I've always liked this Prowl. I always will continue to like it. And I think it's a fantastic way of showing how to make a very, very, very decent Transformers bike. You know, but Wreck-Gar is exceptional. It really does. They do a good job with this one. But as obviously a size comparison, he's a lot bigger as well. Move him off to the side now. Wreck-Gar himself, I think this does a very good job of hiding kibble. Now, a lot of people may not agree with that, and I would understand why. But overall, I think it does a very good job. I mean, shift my hand and light comes in. Let's remember that one. Obviously, this is the body, and obviously, majorly, there's the head, staring right at you from underneath the bike. There's his hands, right in there. That's pretty much everything. So yes, and there's his crotch. There we go. So I might be kind of like contradicting myself a bit here, so by saying there's everything, but at the same time, bearing in mind that this is a bike, it's not like it's the Transformer that goes into a car where everything can fold behind panels and you've got a arm hidden behind a panel, you know. A bike pretty much has everything on display. This would pretty much be its engine, and all the bits and pieces are on display, rather than in a car where everything's hidden under bonnets. So with that in mind, I would say this hides kibble extremely well. I just think it does a fantastic job. And it looks like a bike. It doesn't look like a Transformer that's become a bike. It does look like a bike. So with that in mind, I think it's fantastic. Now, to transform it from well, to quote the 1980s Transformer, to transform him from vehicle to robot and back again, is quite easy and quite hard. Getting him from this to a robot, I find easy. Exceptionally easy. Getting him from a robot to this, hard. It's took me 10 minutes just now to do it because this is my second time of doing this review. So I had to transform him back, and it took me a good 10 minutes to kind of get everything. You have to concertina everything in, fold everything in. If everything's not in the right place, it just won't go. But with that said, it's not one of those ones where it's kind of like, oh my god, I'm going to throw you across the room if you don't work. It's one of those, it's not working, and I know why, and I just have to figure it out. It doesn't get on my nerves. You know, I know I've done it. It's easy to do, but it's complicated. You know, so it's quite with with that in mind. Anyway, the wheels roll very, very well. The front wheel especially is very, very good. The back wheel not so much so, but mainly because it catches on the weapon here. See, if I just take this weapon off like that, it becomes extremely wobbly, but it will roll. So, and the weapon itself, well, I'll get back to that. And so yeah, it rolls very well. The one thing I will say is that these bits here, very, very loose plastic, very, very, well, soft rubber, soft plastic, whatever you want to say they are. They're very, very soft plastic. So have to be extremely careful because you do kind of have to snap these out of place to transform him. So, and every time I do it, I feel like I'm going to snap it. The first time I transformed him, it took me a long time to do this because I really questioned the instructions, and I was like, are you sure it's meant to do this? Because it feels like it's going to snap on me. But yeah, I mean, I've actually just had moving and handling training, so I know to push at the point nearest, like down here. You wouldn't bend it from here because it will snap. You push it at the point, so I get my nail right in there, just give it a good push and it clips out. But I still feel like it's going to snap at some point. But there we go. Just have to be careful. So anyway, to transform him, because I'm going to do him this way because it's easy, but I'm not going to do it the other way on camera because you'll be here all day. Take this piece and fold it up first, and then kind of unclip that there. Then you want to flip it round, and then basically unfold this leg. Very G1 Prowl reminiscent, really. Oh, I'm holding the wrong way. That little piece there just clips in. There we go. Fold his wheel round, open up his chicken feet. And there we go. With the other side, this bit kind of goes a different way. You have to kind of like unfold that there, and it kind of concertinas into there sort of thing. So you want to unfold that and clip this down into place there. Click his groin back into place. And then this one bit, teeth in, right. This is one bit I really like, is you pull this bit forward and everything kind of folds and clicks into place. Just very, very nice. And we'll stand him there as well as possible. There we are. Now rotate his waist around. Let's flip his head forward. There we go. And bring his arms around. Now one thing as well I want to point out, because I've kind of just realised it today as well, his arms will join into each other. When you transform him back, his arms will clip into each other there. There's kind of like a little peg there. Don't know if you, there we are. Just in there, there's a little peg that clips his arms together. I'll just get this one out of the way. Now I never realised this until today, that there's also a little peg that clips his arms into here. See if I can get that to focus in a bit there. Is it going to do it? There we go. Right. There is kind of like a peg over here that clips into a little tiny hole over there. Now that's a good way. Yeah, that kind of just clips into there. It's good to do it that way because otherwise what I had problems with at first was trying to get his arms into place when putting him into the bike mode, because I didn't realise it did that. And you constantly try and trial and error. And I really wish I'd realised that beforehand, because, well, it would have saved a lot of time, really. So, makes transforming him that little bit easier, really. And there we go. Get his head forward, and there we go. There is Transformers Reveal the Shield Wreck-Gar transformed. And as for his weapon, unfold that, and also very animated Prowl reminiscent. Fully out blades, and they fit nicely into his hands. Just like that. Just like that. I'm not going to do a Tommy Cooper impression because I can't do one to save my life. I love the guy, and for me to try and do one would be, well, it just wouldn't work. So, there we go. Now, when I first transformed him, I thought, I wasn't so sure. I've now come to the decision that if this was anyone else apart from Wreck-Gar, this wouldn't work. I honestly think, people may argue, well, you know, what else are you going to do and all of that, but for me this would not work. Having a huge wheel on the side of his arm would not work. Having a massive wheel on the side of his foot would not work. I really just don't think it would. Because it's Wreck-Gar, I think I'd go as far as well to argue that having a seat for one foot and the front of the bike for another foot would not work. It might work, but not as well as these two. Because it's Wreck-Gar, and because he's obviously from Junkion and made from junk and all of this, because of that, this works. It kind of like you look at it and you would believe that he's just assembled from little bits and pieces, and you know, it's very, very Wreck-Gar-esque sort of thing. Especially how you have His wrist is one, well, his hand's one colour, his wrist's another, his forearm's another colour, his upper arm is another colour, and his shoulder's another colour. You know, that just wouldn't work on anything else. But because it's Wreck-Gar, as I say, it works. Now, his head is exceptional. I love his head. I absolutely love his head. That is a G1 Wreck-Gar right there. Especially, it took me a couple of goes to actually, when I looked at it and noticed it, but the little, like, I don't know what these are, guns? Nipples? I don't know. Weird placed nipples if they are. But from the G1 character as well, love them. Very, very good. Very good nod at the G1 sort of figure. And I really, really do like it. I mean, his articulation as well is exceptionally good. Rotates at the waist. His head would move all the way around, but his kind of rubber soft goatee stops that from happening. You could do it, but at the risk of snapping these, and you know what, I'm just not going to do it. His shoulders will rotate all the way around. He'll bend at the elbow, rotate at the shoulder. His hands will rotate, but they're very, very stiff. Same on the other side, although it's slightly hindered by the wheel, but it will do it. And it will catch against that wheel. His legs, he will move at the hip, rotate, he'll go outwards, he'll bend at the knee, and his foot is very articulated with his little claw chicken feet. One thing as well that I've noticed, I don't know if it's me, I don't know if I'm transforming it wrong and all of that, his legs are not the same size. That's him kind of stood straight there, and his left foot will not touch the floor. And when he does, it's kind of like, you can just feel that this bit is just bigger. You know, you can just look at him and see he's wonky. Again, that would have been a big complaint. Because it's Wreck-Gar, you can kind of pass it off that it's Wreck-Gar, you know, sort of thing. I don't know if it's me, I don't know if it's mine or anything like that, but he's just very, very wonky. I've tried a lot of different ways to try and get him straighter, but he just will not have it. So you have to kind of have that knee slightly bent. But you can just see, it's almost like he's going to fall over. He's very, very wonky. But never mind. And so yeah, that is pretty much everything I can say about him. Do I recommend him? Oh, hell yes, I recommend him. I think he's fantastic. I really like him. Very happy with him. Very surprised by him as well. At the same time. But yes, he's, look at that. He's almost going to fall over now. Oh dear, he's been on the oil again. So there we are. Just try and get him stood up so we can say goodbye properly. That'll do it. Right. So yes, I highly recommend picking him up. I don't know if this guy is going to be released in shops at some point in the next few months or anything, which is why I picked him up. He is a Reveal the Shield, so I would imagine so. I don't know when. I don't know how. As I say, I picked him up from Kapow Toys because I really wanted it. So I took the plunge and I bought him. And his shoulders dislocated. There we go. So yes, but I highly recommend him. Highly recommend him. So anyway, this is Spider-Kel with a slightly off-center Wreck-Gar saying take care, and I will see you all again soon.